as I unmuterate everything because we don't want to get hit by the muterator, and yes, there are some awesome new drops in the form of police skins. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am Rose. We have honestly, one of my favorite group of people in the Aussies, represented by Muggy of Amped. And I'll let him introduce himself. He's probably better at it than I am.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. It's live from Perth on weekend daytime TV, I guess. Hi, I'm Morgy, otherwise known as Freya in game. And I'm currently in the Corp Amped and one of the people trying to run the shit show that is Arsehole Squad.
So you're one of the cat herders that herd multiple cats. Got it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And to be fair, it is a bit of fun, especially when we're active and doing stuff because we go through our cycles as every Sigan squad does.
Oh yeah, no. My favorite thing every time I pop in is Weasel, who is has turned out to be the face of this year's Fan Fest. And the
Oh,
picture, if anybody
exactly
hasn't
right.
seen that,
Yes,
every time it's there's the reciprocal I love yous, and I that the best ship is
it
friendship,
is.
and I seem to always remember that, and I can't I always it's always the best time when I go and say hello to
I
everybody.
can't believe that they've used that photo of Weasel when they also kicked him out of FanFest at the same time. Both a mascot and the worst of us.
They kicked him out. Oh god.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I believe he was kicked out day one last year for being a touch too intoxicated.
Oh God. Well, at this point, he has come far. He has come far.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
let's switch and talk about Amp a little bit. How was the name
Yep.
kind of think of? Where did it kind of
Have we
originate?
come up with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, the current gaggle of people that we were with, we kind of wanted to do a corp merge because we were kind of going in a different direction. At this stage, we were over in fire, and there was the corp that I was in, which was Lesh, and good old Miles's corp, Muse, and we were like, yeah, we kind of just it's easier if we just come under one umbrella at this stage, so we did. And Amp was the first name that no one kind of said, nah, I don't like it. So in that 5 seconds of clarity, we went, yep, lock it indexed. Sometimes you just don't fight against.
Oh God. No.
When
Especially.
people aren't going to argue about it, you just go with it, right?
Oh yeah. Especially like for me, I kind of think of it as like when I first heard the name, I thought of like electricity when you push it through a guitar amp. It's
Yep,
amplified, and the fact that AUTZ is small but mighty. I wouldn't say
yep.
small. There's a good group of them. It is a quieter TZ
Remember,
though.
one of the original taglines with the guys who come up with names was like, "Get amped, fuck boys," and like, yeah, um, it fits.
Hey, if it works. Okay, so
Yep.
now that there's dozens of, oh my god, you all must be Freyr's you all must be Morgy's alts if there's dozens of you. I'm fucking with you.
Absolutely.
I'm fucking with Chad at this point just because I can. Um, so we know how the name kind of came about. Path of Least
Yep.
Resistance being a good name. How did it start, and what are kind of some of the beginnings of the corp? And yeah, go from there.
Yeah, so I guess I'll probably start from when I left Goons initially.
Oh,
So being in the AUTZ, finding other Australians is kind of hard. Full stop to or anyone that kind of plays the game in your time zone. So yeah, I was gallivanting around the galaxy at I think 2008, 2019. Ended up in a different alliance that was based out of Fountain at the time because this was before the Imperium re-spread its wings, and was just mucking around in Fountain. It was a bit of fun, but managed to run into a couple of other Australians there, um, and yeah, we joined this alliance called the the Lolicon Monopoly at the time, renamed to Lollipop Monopoly, because CCP decided to give us the rename. And I should definitely emphasize that, if anyone's seen the Lolicon Monopoly board, the go to jail was the important part.
Oh God, yeah, that will probably be the title image for this episode on YouTube. I'm gonna
Yep.
take it
Yep.
and pretty it up a little bit, but it's
Yeah,
gonna be
absolutely.
included. So if you like
Oh,
Easter eggs, just wait for the YouTube video.
yep. And then, so from there, like we spent a bit of time over in Fountain, and then of course, the Imperium does what the Imperium does. They held and they spread their wings again. Init came back to Fountain, and they were, to be honest with you, very friendly about the whole thing when they were reclaiming their traditional space. Like, sweet, this is what we'd like to do. This is what we want to do it by. Agree or be purged. Which it's fair. That's fair. You know, we're happy to work with you, but this is like the one-time offer. Get out of our way. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, we migrated out of Fountain, and then ended up settling back over with Fire actually before their inevitable demise. Had a bit of fun with there. Once again, working in the AUTZ, and that's kind of more like how we collected a group of people. Was we just kept running into more Australians and a group of Americans that don't know what a sleep schedule is. A lot of people that work night shift, or I believe you call it second shift.
You're close, yes. I'm just thinking
Yeah.
you're sitting over here going, "You're my friend now. You're my friend now." Yoink,
Yeah.
yoink, yoink.
Oh, exactly right.
Yeah.
I literally went around the galaxy on a massive recruitment recruitment jaunt, and then actually just before the fire collapsed, we may have been involved in a little bit of drama, as what happens in this lovely space game.
Of course.
We, you know, I believe one of the corps was moving into Razor at the time, and we went, what, we're kind of more connected with the guys over at Black Rose, so we'll migrate across. There was, some structures that hadn't been transferred, and yada yada. People ended up on
Ooh.
on the blacklist, and Black Rose kind of went, you know what, we don't want to be dictated to, so we're gonna leave fire too. So that's
Oh.
when Black Rose left. Yeah, so Black Rose was like,
Okay.
we've got these people that we've known for years at this stage, that are, actually bringing their corpse under the Black Rose umbrella, and you kind of want to dictate to us that they need to leave Fire altogether? Yeah, nah. So yeah, Black Rose left Fire at that stage. Perfect timing because I want to say maybe 8 weeks later is when Init and Horde decided to do the purge.
Oh God.
And yeah, got completely wiped out of there. So we just got the advance notice, I guess. And then the discussions kind of became, hey, we should probably look for a new home and whatnot. And I'd been in Goons prior time, and I was like, it was a lot of fun. My biggest issue was that we didn't have people to chat with. It was kind of hard to connect. Like Goons back then was obviously even more hardcore into on the forums, use Jabber. Whereas now at least Discord is used more regularly amongst the groups, which
Yeah.
does help. But if you're not awake or talking during the right times, you felt very disconnected. This time I just brought the friends with me.
Hey, and that I've met a lot of people in Amped, be it from the EUTZ that got kidnapped to the uh quoting Phase Wolf here, to the rest of the Aussies and New Zealanders and all of the second, third shift Americans who don't know what a sleep schedule is. And you guys are
Yep.
probably some of the most. I have had more laughs with y'all than anything else, I think. Um,
Yes.
yeah.
Look, when we're in
Yes.
Arsehole Squad comms, it is something else. Um,
I have fond
and,
memories
and
that
I
I
will point
cannot
out.
talk about. But yes,
I was gonna say yes.
oh my god,
Um,
yes.
Twitch TOS here.
Well, nah, it's more OPSEC, but yeah, no, no.
Yeah,
Some of
well
the
that too.
OPSEC, Twitch, some of the things, but no. The only times that you will actually see me, having a beer or having a, have being a little more tipsy than not is when I'm hanging out with the Aussies, and they are
Yep.
wonderful fun. So you guys, so fire fell apart. You guys had to kind of, you got the 4 notice warning. You get
Yep.
this, and then Frat and Panhorde kind of come in and clean house. And you
Yep.
got, so
At
when
this
you
stage,
guys
we're already
came
in Mimatalo Sec
back,
chilling.
what happened after coming back to
Sorry to
Goons? You were
cut you.
chilling in Nullsec, or chilling in Mimitar Lowsec.
More than anything else, okay, yeah. So I guess the transition was we just poked a few people that we know because as you do, you reach out like, hey, we've got a
Yeah.
corp here. We've just finished the merge, so that it's currently all active people. End up reaching out to Hyper and be like, yep. It was like,
Yep.
just explain a few things for us because it's a brand new corp. You've only at the time there was only like what was it 96 characters in. It's like you guys would be the smallest corp in Goons. Um we just want to make sure you're happy, like that you're actually active. I'm like, cool, yeah, sweet. That's very fair. At this stage, we didn't want to bring in 101 alts, yada yada. Just went through kind of just validating the corp
Yeah.
at the time, and then eventually Hype was like, sweet, let's get you on board, let's get you in. So we did that, started the move ops, and for the most part, it just allowed the members to acclimate to Goon Swarm again. Well, all for the first time even, because you've got so much. Well, we had so much resources available to us, whether it be the treasure trove of information on the forums. And I know as much as
Yeah.
people hate reading in this day and age, if they can't get it in
Reading.
their 15-second TikTok, the
Oh
attention
my
span has
god.
changed. Um, but there is a huge wealth of information there. So unfortunately, one of my taglines is, yeah, and you can scroll through the AMP Discord. Very regularly, people will be like, "Morgy, say the word." It's like, "Have you read the forums?" Um,
Yep.
and yeah. But also just the opportunity to make money, which like there is there. It's completely different when you're in a big block versus smaller groups for sure. So just opening up people to the wealth of opportunity that was there. And then what it's like living with low sec, I mean NPC null sec in your space as well. A lot of people were
Yes.
like, "Let's go take a marauder out." I'm like, "You don't want to, but sure."
I
Like,
mean, if you want to
you will
lose
learn why
it.
why we don't recommend it. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Um, it's very much the land of milk and honey, but hard lessons to learn it was.
Yeah. It definitely has a, well, had, because this was NPC Delve, I believe, at the time. Um,
Yep.
this is kind of before the big move. Um, NPC Delve, yeah, definitely, because that is very much in the AU CNTZ, that area of a time zone. That
Oh,
was
yes.
incredibly
Yeah.
spicy. Um, yes, no, I.
We that's why we literally with our Soul
Yes.
Squad just sit on the Titan and wait for opportunities. Which have the pleasure, the title, I guess, of being the Sino that Epo accidentally jumped his Titan to instead of bridging to, and that we lost in impasse.
Was
Because I
this
think a lot like
was this recently?
this was
Because
before we took impasse.
okay, okay, I
Yep.
was gonna say, but oh god, Ipo, oh poor Ipo.
Yep. And like, it was. You know what? I've never heard someone be so calm in the face of their Titan going down. He resigned to the fact of like, yep, we're not gonna be able to save it, but we're gonna have some fun. It was great, but this was just part of the shenanigans that we were doing with our Soul Squad. Which talk about failing upwards. I was just active, and then eventually Weasel went tap. Guess what? You're now in leadership. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Um, you showed some kind of fucking competency around me. You're in
Oh
leadership.
god, that's
Um,
it's
yeah,
kind of the running joke that I've noticed is competency. Don't, if you
yeah,
don't
yep.
want to do anything important, don't be competent.
Don't be competent. Exactly right.
Unfortunately, I do not
And
have that luxury. Um, apparently, I am competent at talking to people. Um, so I'm okay
well,
with
I
that
I
though.
do have. I think the bar was set a little bit low. Only because I do have video of Weasel getting smacked around the head with a sword in armor. So if that's where we're starting from, it really only was up from there. And that's the other thing too. Living in Western Australia now, quite a few of us have all caught up and we've drunk, and now I regularly babysit for Weasel's puppy Esther. So
He has a
that's
dog.
one good thing about Eve. Yeah, yes, he's got a beautiful little
What?
Labrador cross. Oh my God,
Oh my god.
Staffy, and he calls her his little meth lab. Um,
I love it. That's
she's
hilarious.
beautiful, absolutely
Oh,
beautiful. Um, and we've got our own two dogs here as well. We've got two Labradors as well, and they get on like a house on fire. So
well,
it's really good.
you're being told that they do that you y'all need to set up a soundboard for the check the forum. So I guess
Yep.
this would probably be the best time for them to maybe get that soundboard of you saying check the forum. If nothing
Have
else,
you checked the forums?
it can be arranged and I can clip it and I will probably go clip that for y'all so y'all can use it as you need it.
I, the I think the hard part about the forums, and this is something that's been discussed a little bit, is that there is a lot of now conflicting information, because when to make information available in multiple areas, we update one, we forget another, yada yada. It just is what it is. But still, there is a wealth of information there. And at the very least, if you've checked the forums and you've got the wrong information, it's better than not at all.
Oh yeah, because the game is ever changing and with the new expansion that was announced earlier today, um don't know if anybody saw it yet
The new
in
trade.
the AUTZ, the new trailer, the two new ships,
Yep.
like I'm really thinking that there might be some shakeups, which there's when there's shakeups or when the things are going on, there is always hey, we got to relearn how to do this. Or when the Tholos came out, it was, hey, hey, hey,
Yep.
wait, you my guys are getting
You got you got you got
updates.
to you got to pay attention now. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. We there were updates. I was awake for that. I didn't know, and I was awake, and I was
I
like,
was I was very lucky. I went to sleep knowing that I'd have this interview with you, but the other half actually clipped a heap of stuff and sent it through to me. So I woke up and immediately I see the Triglavian Marauder.
oh
Um,
yes, I'm
yeah,
looking forward to that. Oh God.
if done well, it'll be great.
I'm thinking
If done well.
it might be OP at least until the first, and the first kind of conversation that I've heard about it today was if they include it for some reason, if they include it in the AT, it's gonna be broken.
Oh
Um,
God, yes, it would be. Is there
yeah,
any? Yeah, I guess yeah, because you can have a flagship, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that could be, but you can't have a Bastion module in the AT.
That is true.
So that module is banned. So, but if there's enough hull bonuses, it doesn't matter, right?
Exactly. But
So,
yeah, it was. I woke up late. I missed the first part of the keynote, but I got to at least get through all of the Vanguard, all of the non-main Eve part related stuff to the Eve part, and
yep.
that's the only part that I cared about.
Are we allowed to? I was
So,
going to say, are we allowed to speak frankly for a moment?
oh, please do.
Like we completely appreciate that CCP wants to, branch out and diversify, yada yada, use their
Yes.
IP, make money in different ways. I get it, right? Like this is simple
Yes.
business stuff.
Yes.
But don't like it feels like it's been years and years of Blizzard announcing, Diablo Immortal, instead of Diablo 4 over and over again.
Yes.
Whereas like CCP, keep the focus, keep the heart and the soul. You cannot give us more content on the other
No.
projects than you do the main meat and potatoes really still needs to be in Eve.
Yeah.
Um yeah, or at the very least, you know that your player base is stupidly passionate about the game, that you need to keep the focus, or at least bring these conversations back to how it involves Eve, and at the very least, and I don't think many people will say this often, but at least with Hilmar saying that a lot of the work with one of the other projects is helping them introduce Python properly into Eve, cool.
That makes me so
Happy
happy.
days. Yeah,
Cause maybe we can
and I think with
finally work around the pasta spaghetti code. Maybe. Or,
right.
you know,
Don't bet on it though.
yeah, oh god, no. But it would be nice.
And I think the it would be nice. But like back in CCP's heyday, they very regularly talked about the development side, the back end, what was going on. They used to talk about the hardware that was running Eve because that the fan base that this game brings in, they froth at the flaps over that stuff.
Oh yeah.
This is just what they like.
And
Um,
to that point, we in my house, there we have two Eve players, and we have a older Eve signed server that was decommissioned and
oh,
removed,
nice.
and we are thinking about ways to put it somewhere in the house. But we do have one. It's signed. I'll probably have to find a way to get a picture of it. Um,
Yep.
but keeping in mind, hey, this is what the people like. Keeping in mind, hey, this is meat and potatoes. This is the main part of the game. This is why people are here. I really
Yep.
think that, yeah, that's a fun, like, little side quest. But can we get some more to the main
And
quest, please? Like, can we sprinkle some more bacon on
yeah.
top or something?
Yep. And in the past, people loved Dust. And I think everyone has
Oh,
acknowledged at this
yeah.
stage that being PS3 exclusive is realistically what its downfall was. Cool, that's
Yeah.
fine. There is definitely opportunity for a first-person shooter that's based in the Eve
Well,
universe.
they had one. They had Valkyrie.
Yeah.
They had
Oh, and Valkyrie
Valkyrie,
as well. I forgot
where
about
the
Valkyrie.
guy in the
Yeah.
VR, he actually started in an ore corporation, an NPC ore corporation,
Yep.
and so they've had things that they could try to do to try to work with things, and it seems like they keep failing and coming back and then going back and trying again, and they're made by this. They now are owned by Pearl Abyss, which are the same people who make Black Desert Online BDO, which
Yep.
originally was also on PS4 and
Yep.
everything else. I play that as well, but it feels like maybe they need to. They can having that is fine. I love the fact that they're giving us more potential for lore. They're giving us more, like, hey, this is something that you can do. But it's like, can we get more for Eve so we can get more content, less blue balls? Can we get more? I know, like, can we get more support for
Yep.
server nodes instead of focusing on, hey, you
Yeah.
made a cool gun with an average square box,
Yep.
which is great.
And yeah, no,
But
it is great. But the day-to-day
yeah,
gameplay needs to also, be front and center. I'm a big advocate for some way for us to identify real new
yeah,
bros instead of, Spy Alt 74 from Rudy from Frat. I'm
yeah,
just, like, because we understand that actual new, like, the learning curve is huge for this game.
oh
Being
my
able to
god,
identify
yes.
truly new people, whether it be that when they've registered with their name and that their credit card is one that hasn't been used before or something like that, so that you can
Yeah,
turn around and go, okay, cool, they're truly new. We don't have to subject them to their
yeah,
to the Spanish Inquisition just to get into a corp. Or more importantly, that you're putting in some serious effort to help them learn.
yeah,
And that's coming from the right place. Like, don't get me wrong, Eve is adapted, and
yeah.
you've got your the Horde, Newbro Corp. You've got Karma Fleet that specialize in stuff. Eve Uni.
If Uni,
Those are
University.
workarounds, but they don't address the initial problem.
Yeah, which is getting new players in, and something that I've seen a couple ideas, one of which is um, like having a dedicated Nubro wormhole so they can actually do the scanning instead of where it just takes you through room by room on the scanning thing instead of like actually teaching you how to scan. It takes you into a
Yeah.
wormhole and teaches you how to do it. Another thing being that 1.0 systems are could be should be, and this is somebody's idea, not CCP, should be locked to zero point 0.0 security players, so gankers can't come in and gank the new bros.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah. I'm
yeah,
happy to keep new bros in their little safe space while they learn the game with the most notorious difficult learning curve. Like, you
yeah,
don't want people getting kicked out. Kick- like there is
yeah,
always room for the hardcore aspect of Eve, absolutely, and there is still permanent loss in the game. It's not the same with an instant respawn. But when you are learning,
mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Allowing people to have time to flesh out what they're trying to learn. Yeah, absolutely.
and somebody in chat was like, "Well, I only started playing Eve because I had a friend who already played and handheld me through being a new bro." I understand. I joined nullsec being 26 days in game, and I had people in. I had three goons in chat, which is why I joined goons, and
Yep.
they were super super helpful. And then I turn around and now I'm teaching the newbies, and I haven't been in game a year yet. I've also
Yep.
put in probably more time than most, but at least in the time that I've been playing, compared to most new bros, who are like, oh, maybe 2-3 hours or however long. I'm sitting here for, at this point it's been 10 hours today. um,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, yeah. So I'm already I am full past the deep end, but I hopped straight into nullsec because it sounded fun. And I definitely
Yep.
think that opening it up for newer bees um, is always a good thing, and there are always things to learn. Like I taught somebody who had never done abyssals in the almost 20 years of playing the game. I taught them how to do abyssals, and they're like, "Whoa, this is cool." And I definitely think increasing the social interaction that's not scams for new players. It will go, hey,
Yeah.
hey, this is a game where you can actually get help instead of rookie chat, which is people spurging. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
that's
You're not wrong. Even the recruitment
yeah,
chat, like in-game channel as well,
mm-hmm,
same thing.
yeah,
And like realistically, one of the best places to find a corp is actually on Reddit, but it's not like the game says, "Oh, actually, you know what? Ignore all of the in-game services. The best place for you to go is to Reddit. Off your pop."
yeah, yeah,
Like one, that would be just bad game design to say that, but also
yeah,
it it's yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yep.
I would 100% agree, and I think opening up the doors for, I think the new in they were talking about it a little bit in the speech today, um, the member quests and the what was the term they used? It was something like not Freeport, but freelancer, I think. Um,
Yep.
projects. I think that'll help. I
I think
think
so too.
that'll really turn out to be something that newbies can go, hey, look, I just have to go give these guys rocks and I make money.
And they will be happy with me. Yep.
Yes!
Just
And
because I'm just gonna go mine. I'm
or
not gonna worry about my skills with refining. I'm just gonna go mine and dump it to you. Happy days.
or
Nice and
ice
simple.
mining or gas huffing or
Yep.
whatever somebody is like here, or XYZ. I don't know what options they're going to allow. I don't know if there's going to be any this is me having no information other than what was said in the speech today. I don't know if there's going to be anything PvE, Explo. If there's Explo, it could be, hey, go collect trigger units, or go collect XYZ, or, turn in this, or, go mine X, or scan down 5 signature. I don't know. Just going off of what the dailies are. Assuming it could be
Yeah.
something, anything, I think that'll be a really nice way to kind of breathe some life into the newer players. Because a lot of newer players are in high sec getting ganked in barges and going, I know how to mine. How do I play
Well, that
this
was
game?
fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Where did I go wrong that this happened? Yep, exactly right.
Yeah.
And just trying to identify, just yeah, and that kind of all ties back to being able to figure out who are real new bros. Um,
Yeah.
and I know, is it Final Fantasy does this thing where I think they give you the sprout icon
Oh God.
to help when you're a new.
I've never played. I
No,
haven't.
neither have I. But I've just heard of it.
Oh,
And
really?
apparently, like there is this entire community around helping new people. Like there, it's like super focused on helping them, and I think that's a great.
Green
The
little
green little
sprout.
sprout. Yeah, there you go. Thanks,
Yeah.
Angry. Yep, next to your name.
Oh,
Perfect.
okay.
Now, yeah. Um,
That's nifty.
I think that would be a great idea for stuff like that.
No, I agree. I think having
Um,
something to show that, hey, this person's actually new and is not like you said, Spy Alt 74 from XYZ and Panhorde or in it or, whoever. Like,
no.
it would be nice to go, oh, this person's actually new. Although I
Yeah.
can see why they wouldn't, in a sense, but I could see
Well,
how
no.
it
So
could be
I'm
helpful.
not gonna. I could understand that it would make, getting spy characters into corps harder and all that kind of fun stuff, but
Yeah.
ultimately, I would put, spying for the most part should be like an upper tier skill set. And if
Yeah.
they have to put effort into achieving that, then so be it. The effort shouldn't be translated onto the new person trying to learn game, in my opinion.
I can agree with that statement. Yeah. That is. But also, helping Sprouts in that game has everything to do with people desperately wanting to relive dramatic moments by watching new players' reactions to climatic scenes. Dude, I would pay to have myself lanced again in my PNI for the first
Right?
time. Dude,
No.
I can go
Oh,
back and
I
watch the
think
clip.
Ericon's just hit the nail on the head there. Even now, like we've had new people in Corp that like they've been playing the game for 6 months, 7 months. They're on their first fleet and goons and they're sitting on a Titan getting bridged and like, oh my God, this what like just hearing that excitement is intoxicating for most people that still have a
Yes.
soul.
Yes.
That haven't completely lost it. Haven't had it sucked out of them yet, but
See, I love hearing that people still get like Eve shakes. I don't
yes, right when the
I
PvP
don't get
shakes.
I don't get the shakes. I even in, you know, over 1,000 people in local and I'm sitting there happy as a clam doing, doing what I do. I don't get the Eve shakes anymore. My hands don't shake. Not even in like small gang, nano gang. I'm just like, okay. Okay, where did I
Once
fuck
your
up?
brain's wired, yeah.
Yeah.
Once your brain's wired, yeah, I was gonna say, that's probably yeah. Aries, one of our AT pilots.
Yep.
She's been sorry, not just a pilot. Team captain.
Yep.
One of the ones that we've shanghaied into AMP. And has made some amazing plays. We could do probably a good half an hour highlights on some of the amazing stuff she's done in game.
Nice.
Just yeah. I might even get something together for you at some stage, just so you can
Oh
post to
yeah.
your YouTube of some of the really cool things. In one of their AT rounds in the last one,
Yep.
making the call to bunch up on one of the MJDs and actually just yeet their fleet into the enemy, and like we need points. We've got no other option.
I saw
We can
that.
consider stalemating out, or we can just gun it. Oh my God, right? How good was it?
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Um, we
I
we went and tracked down a bombing run that area had nothing to do with recently. And and she was just sitting in a different fleet, sitting in a bubble, just waiting, and then lo and behold, just sees a heap of bombers decloak, warps down, bubbles an enemy fleet, no communication on comms, just sitting there and watching the field and paying attention, looking for the right opportunity,
yeah.
bubbles them, goes for the sacrifice bubble. It's like there is some really nice, yeah. There are
Yeah.
some people in this game that you just go, you are on a different level. And
Yeah.
I'm lucky to have lucky to have ran into a few and kind of gathered them together amongst our little group here.
I hosted the charity cup and there were some that I was sitting there watching. I'm like, dude, there are some of these people that I would. That is a completely different level of gameplay. That is
Yes.
when they're good on the field and they're good on tranquility. That in itself is an absolute skill, and I've been in my first goon corp I was in, had one of them, and had one of the goons AT people, and consistently, we would do some small gang fights. We helped save an orca. Don't ask, but we did. It was pretty great. But
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
just seeing the skill it takes. I do not have the skill to fly like that. I can talk about it a little bit. Um but
But yeah, like
that's a
there's
new
some like
skill.
we 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 get the pleasure of zooming out a little bit and going, okay, guys, just approach,
Yeah.
approach and follow broadcast. Just approach and follow broadcast, please. How can I help you approach and follow broadcast? So
Yeah.
when you find people that are well and truly beyond that level, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's,
It,
yeah,
it's fantastic, and like Zeb said, it's also another thing to find a good pilot and a good FC, and then they're also a good human being, and they're willing to teach people about the game and how to pilot. That in itself is also
yeah,
a thing, and I've noticed that is when people take the time to go, hey, either talk to me after the fleet. Here, come over here. Go to university. Here's a good place to ask questions. Just finding resources for the newbies. They're like, oh my god, we love you, and
yep,
it,
yep,
it's absolutely like, hey, I just want you to stay in the game. Like,
yep,
I just want you to keep having fun with the group. That's the goal,
yeah.
and yeah, it's very much part of getting people. Yeah, they're bitter vets, but making finding a bitter vet that's also a good human being and willing to teach is definitely a thing, I will say. Um,
And I guess well,
yeah,
I would not call myself a bit of vet, but technically my character is from 2005,
I
so
wouldn't call you a bitter vet.
I've been around long enough.
You have
But
for sure.
yeah, there is. I kid you not, I did not PvP until I left Goons the first time round. I was such a spod brain care bear, and then it was funnily enough running into another Australian. It was like, get in this caracal and undock, and we are gonna go and blow ourselves up on something. And sooner or later, the the good old meme of mother, I crave violence.
Mother, I crave the
Really came out.
violence. Yes.
I crave violence. um, it's and it is and I get there's some people that are like, I'm just not interested in the PvP style game. I get that.
And that's
I was
okay.
that. But there are some times, especially in like the when you're out there with like less than 20 people or less than 30 people in your fleet, and you're like solo lodging like a hero because somehow we didn't check fleet comp before we undocked, and all of a sudden you are like just having fun. You're the
You're
pinnacle.
like
It changes things, right?
you're like Spider-Man in the original Spider-Man movie
Yeah.
where he's like holding on to both sides trying to stop the train.
Yep. Yep.
You might stop the train.
So,
It might run you over. You never know. But I'm
all
gonna
right.
circle us back to Amped a little bit.
Yep.
Are there any big accomplishments that Amp has that can be talked about in a public fashion?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I think moving over here to our new space opened up a couple of big things. We set up in Yala, which for multiple reasons, like Yala Yala Habibi. But anyway, we're we've set up in Yala, and we've set up an indie park. We now produce caps properly with all structures that we've set up ourselves, which is a nice feeling, even though, Goons historically has provided a load of infrastructure. We set up our own. And until quite recently, we had that pipe coming in from Faith bubbled 24/7. So this is
Yep.
what happens when you bubble the edge of your space and not in the middle of it on a jump bridge network. Cough. Um,
Yep. Cough, cough.
yep.
Sorry. I know
So,
what you were
you know,
meaning,
we
but
literally.
we'll leave it up to the audience's imagination. But I think you and I know where we're. I
Oh,
think we're on the
exactly
same
right.
page.
Yep. So, being Australian, we have named our main structure Bunnings, which is a very beloved hardware store here in Australia, for those that don't know. Um,
Yes.
and it was called Tech 2 Bubbles for a reason. Yeah, sad bubble noises indeed. um, because it really was a great, because we were on a pipe and
Mm-hmm.
people would fly in, get caught in the bubbles, and just die, and we would just sit there.
Have
We had
snacks.
multiple times with good old Thurman, who would be running Beehive, and we'd let him know there's something coming this way, or even friendly ships of large size that decided that gating would be a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I know who you mean
yep.
on that one, and they are good friends of mine. So, yes.
Yep. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just one. We've caught two.
Oh,
Um,
I know
yeah.
of these people. Yes, they
Yep.
are. I have done
Um,
stupid things with these people in my own. I understand.
yep.
sometimes,
That's a good old.
sometimes.
Why are there bubbles here in local is just an amazing feeling. But to be fair, also helped keep Beehive safe.
Yes.
There was one less path that people were coming through unchallenged. But yeah, it's our little home. It's it's close enough to UALX. It's not too far away. We do our thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but at the moment we're just going through a bit of a growth phase. We've put recruitment on hold though, just because our previous CEO Sen's just got engaged, taking a break from the game, all that kind of fun stuff. So the decision was made to put Weasel into CEO-ship.
Oh goodness. Oh god. Y'all. Oh god.
But we're here.
You're
Yep.
here. Yeah. You're here
Good
for now.
old
I
yeah,
can't,
Weasel 350.
I can't say you're here for now because you're here, but
Oh,
oh my god,
yeah,
I'm.
yep. Um,
This is the
which
same
I'm sorry,
weasel.
I did forget to I did forget to give
Oh
I
god.
did forget to give Weasel his appropriate greeting for this, which I've been told to say "fuck you, Weasel," from
Yes.
everyone in AMPED.
Yes. Fuck you, weasel. That is
Yep,
always the appropriate response. Is
yep.
fuck you, uh, uh, dude.
Fuck you, Weasel, and get to the Titan.
I I I remember when there was a command in a university that would just if you did it right, it would just say "fuck you, weasel" every time. And I remember
Yep, yep,
spamming that
yep.
just
It's
because.
and just remind Epo that he is a relic from the Cretaceous period, and everything is fine.
Wait, he's from the vegetable period?
Yes, yes, in more ways than once, but that was due to the stroke. Um,
Oh God! I,
uh, if
well,
you can't take the piss out of your mates.
I was like crustacean. Chris, um, that's like, why does that remind me of like the word for broccoli? And then, hey, that's vegetable. Oh God,
Yeah,
I love it.
he's gonna hate me for that, but it's
He
fine.
might.
It's
He
fine.
might.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, so I guess that was one of the big achievements for us. And then just getting more and more people getting into their Titans and stuff like that. So I think the initial, goal of, hey, we were poor migrating peasants coming out of out of the non-promised land to join goons to allow people to build their wealth, build get their sandcastle sorted, is kind of coming into fruition. There's more and more people with, getting into capitals, getting into their supers, getting into their titans. Um, just seeing that natural progression upwards is really good. Because obviously, it's not the same as, 2018 where you could get yourself a titan for 40 billion, give or take. Um,
man.
yeah, get a super for 12. So I think those achievements are now represent a little bit more than what they did back then. I'm not saying it
Yeah.
wasn't a hard thing to do back then, but it is definitely a different kettle of fish now.
Oh yeah.
Um, and just being able to offer those things to people, or at least create, create a nursery where people can grow it however they want, as long as they read the forum. Um, yeah,
Oh, I mean, that's very fair. Just get to the point where people start have the command for it to just tell everybody to go read the forum before you have that way you don't have to type it out every time. Or
yeah,
you'll get the soundboard. You'll get the soundboard. They'll take care of you.
exactly
I
right.
have no doubt that they will get you on the soundboard for this.
Yep.
Fully prepared.
And then I guess like another big thing that's been really good for the corp is, well, once again, just failing up into Arsehole Squad,
Yeah.
is having a spot for AUTZ goons to kind of collect.
Yeah.
We've definitely put Airy to work there now, just taking out small fleets, just having a bit of fun. Yep, shoot blues, tell vile rat, exactly right.
Yep.
Um, but because like we do have all of our big SIGs that do stuff that are very specific and localized, whereas Arsehole Squad is kind of more of a conglomerate because there isn't enough, if that makes sense, to have, let's say Locust doing stuff in AUTZ doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
So instead, it's better off that we kind of like if people want to get together, it's organized with the arseholes. Makes sense.
I mean, yeah. That is absolutely. It makes sense because like Aussies are all over the place. There's a bunch of different corps that may not always be like mainly AUTZ, but they have some. And having a place that,
And
is for the time zone or for the people who are, who should be asleep, but they're
that
awake,
aren't,
that
yeah,
aren't, yeah.
yep.
Feel this?
Um, living in the upside down. It's
Yep.
the main thing is when you apply, put the times that you play in so that we know. um, and yeah, come on through. It's a fun place. The biggest thing is don't be sensitive. You're gonna be
Get
around
used
Australians, except that,
get used to the
um,
fuck yous and the hey cunts and
yep,
all of that. Yep.
yep,
Yep.
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 If we're being too nice, then you've done something wrong.
That's
That's the main thing.
accurate. That's accurate. Yeah. Oh man. I I will see if I have enough beer, but we'll see. But yeah, usually
Because
anytime that
there, I
I'm
think at one stage,
up with y'all,
go ahead,
it's
sorry.
like 3 o'clock in the morning my time, and I'm like,
Yep.
hell yeah, there's nothing else I would rather be doing than hanging out and playing Eve with people who are online and who are like, hey, let's go do things.
Well, yeah, and I think not to scratch ourselves on the back too much here, but during the Great Migration, due to talk about failing upwards, but us like and props to Weasel and Epo, as well as Zach, and was it Medusa? I know Kale helped out a lot too with extra Titans and stuff like that, but just a lot of coordination actually happened with our squad just to keep Titan bridges up during the Great Migration.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Toaster to helping with the sorting out the fuel and the finances after the fact.
Oh god.
We kind of
Yeah.
just got the job done and went, okay, now let's fix it. I believe, Weasel's craziest stint was something like keeping the move fleet up for 24 hours,
I
with
remember
Titans bridging
this.
continuously.
I
Yeah,
remember
he
this
was in a state
because,
by the end of it.
well, that was the day that he was doing karaoke, if I remember
Yes.
correctly. That
Yep.
somebody still has a recording of when I did karaoke with that. I believe that's Llama, but Llama's currently drunk as a fucking skunk in Iceland at FanFest.
Yep.
So I can't and go. I can go find it. I can go find it. But
I need this. Yeah.
I can go find it. But I remember that because he was tired. We kept telling him go to bed. He's like, nah,
Yep.
karaoke, and he was pretty skunked, and
It was.
doing
I pulled the Mrs.
karaoke.
card on him.
Oh,
So, yep. I got the tap on the shoulder and was like, all right, it's time to send him. Send him off. I'm like,
yeah,
cool, no worries.
yeah.
And yep.
Yeah.
Got the wife to be involved.
Oh yeah, no, you don't get her involved because otherwise that's that's a yes. I'm getting
Max
off
is
right now.
great.
I'm bye 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 bye. That's a
Yeah.
you can go fuck yourselves. I'm leaving. Bye, type thing.
Yeah.
God, I love it. Oh goodness.
So I guess yeah, I guess for the most part that's kind of the short story of Amped and how we've ended up here. It's been fun so far. The corp's growing, which is it's fun. We're seeing a lot of new people quite recently, which is good. Um, and more than anything else, the people that are coming in, they're being social as well. I think that is just such a big thing. If people are chatty, they jump on Discord, they talk and interact, which is probably one of my biggest failings when I was first in Goons, is just not talking and interacting enough.
Yeah,
But
I feel that.
we've been through that. Yeah. So yeah, I guess in conclusion, Weasel, go fuck yourself, and if you're playing AUTZ, apply to Arsenal Squad.
And hang out with the Aussies and be prepared to have some crazy things. And hey, get used to to be told to go fuck yourself.
Yes, and remember that
Yeah,
joining the voice channel is consent.
this is true. I have hopped in many an amped channel and had some much fun. It was wonderful.
Well,
All right. Well, hey, thank you so much, Morgy, for being here with me today. I appreciate it.
thanks for having us.
Hey, you are welcome at any time. Anytime you want to come and hang out and have a good time and
I
shoot the
think we
shit.
should. Honestly, we should probably do a wrap up on FanFest at some stage.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we share some interesting views on where the game should be going. I think we should probably schedule to do a wrap up on FanFest because
yeah,
there's probably going to be a lot to talk about. So I think that might be a bit of fun.
yeah. We will. We'll work together and see what we can figure out. Maybe I
We'll
do it.
take this conversation offline.
Well,
I believe
yeah,
is the
yeah.
technical term.
Well, you know what I think I'll do is we'll take it offline, but maybe I see if I make a round table about it, and we get
Oh, that sounds great.
yeah. Rose is smart sometimes. Rose sometimes has some good ideas, every once in a while. But
That's okay. It's like your good deed for the day.
yeah, exactly. I occasionally have a bright idea, and yeah, I think this might be one of it. So, but with that, I will say have a good rest of your day to all of my Aussies. For everybody else, I hope you have a
Don't forget
good
to vote, people.
nighttime. And yes, I was told today is an Australian holiday or voting day, so please go out there, place your votes, do your civic duty. I don't know if you get fined. I know some places they might fine you
We
if you
do,
don't
yeah,
vote. Oh,
yeah. You
you
have
do?
to.
Okay, so
Yep.
go vote so you don't get fined. Don't forget
And
your
get your democracy sausage.
They give you democracy
After you
sausage?
vote, they yes, yeah. After you cast your vote, you get a sausage.
What? Dude, I want
They
free
feed you.
food.
Isn't it great?
Oh my god, that's amazing. I like this idea. Yeah, hell yeah. Give me food and fucking I will talk to you all day. I
Yeah.
like this. All right. So with
Brilliant.
that, I'm gonna take this offline. We'll go talk to I'll go talk to Morgy. We'll figure some stuff out. But everybody else, have a good rest of your day. Go vote. Go get your democracy sausage. Don't get fined because you know you can use that ISK. You can use that real world ISK on Eve, and I think we're gonna go see if we can raid. We can. We're gonna go raid Rampage Inc. and give them some more people. The option is not vote, get fined, or vote and get free food. Vote and get free food because free food should be the only option. All right, guys. With that, have a good night. We're gonna go raid Merc.